There are many questions that cannot be answered with the data from a single table. When this happens, we need to be able to join multiple tables together. Consider the question, what room number, what building and room number are each of the sections in? So if we want to know the department and course number, that tells us what section is, like CS 1030, and the semester and the year that it's taught, what building and room number is it in? This information is all available in the database, but it comes from multiple sections. It comes from multiple tables. So we know that some of the information is going to be in the section, so we're going to join that. Now, when I use just plain join, that's what's called a natural join. And the other way you can say this is to put the word inner join. And the inner part is optional. So you can either include it or not. When you just do just join, that's what kind of join you get. So we're going to join that section with the location because the other information is in the location table. And whenever when we're joining things together, we always want to say how they are joined. And we do that with the on statement. And we say that in section, the field location is equal to location, the table location dot location ID. So what we do is we find the fields in the two tables that go together. So location in section is a foreign key that refers to the primary key location ID in the location table, and that's how you connect it, the foreign key to the primary key, and the order doesn't matter. And in these two tables, in the location table, we'll be able to get building and room number. In the section table, we'll be able to get the semester and the year, but we won't be able to get department or course number because those are in the course table. So we need to do another join, and that's okay. You can do as many as you need. So now we're going to join that with the course table. And again, when we join another one, we want to say on, how are these related? Well, in the course ID is related to, right? That's the primary key, and the foreign key that it's related to is in the section, and the table and the field is course. And so those two are related through those two keys. All right, we've got all the tables that we need and we've joined them. Let's execute that statement. And here we get it. We get the math course 2450 in spring 2021 is in building WE room 103. And that lists every section, the semester and year that they're in, what building and room they're in. And notice that it took 3 tables to get that information. Once you get a statement working, remember to save it in the file. Okay, what if we wanted to get a course list, a list of all the students in a particular course? So what we're going to want to do is select first name and last name. Now we know both of those come from the user table, so we can get both of those from user 1. We don't want everybody, right? We want to know only the ones that are registered. And the way that we get the registered is in the registration table. And so I'm going to join those two together. How are those related? Well, user1.userid is equal to registration.userid. And that connects the registration to the user. And now we want to specify which one. And here we're going to do it where course is equal to 2. And let's go ahead and order by last name. And execute that. Oh, and look, it doesn't know what course is. So we want it where course is equal to 2. So we still need another table because the course is not in user 1 or in registration. So we need another join. And this time we're going to join with section. And the way these are related is that section number is equal to registration section number. All right, now let's see if it knows where it is. And sure enough, now it has the same information. So notice the things we are selecting was in a single table. But because we were being very specific about who we wanted, which users we only wanted the ones that were currently registered for this particular course, then we actually needed 3 different tables to get that information correct. The next question we want to ask is, we want a list of all the grades. And for each grade, we want to list the department and course number. That tells us what course, what semester it was taken, so the course in the year, and the grade. So where do we have to go to get all of this? Well, we know that we can get some of the information from the course table. And we know we can get some of it from the section table. So how are course and section related? They're related on course ID is equal to section number dot course. Okay, that's still not quite enough. We also need the registration table. So we'll join the registration table. And how is it related? It is related with section number, and that is equal to section number. And notice that we get them all here. Let's go ahead, they're kind of mixed up though. Let's go ahead and order them. So let's order them by section number. And if we do section number, both exists in the section and in registration, so we have to identify which one we want. And it doesn't matter which one, either of them will work. And now if we execute it, we get them in order. So we see all of them in order. So for each section, we see, for each grade, we see what course it's related to and what semester and year, and we see all those grades. But grades by themselves aren't too interesting. Let's go ahead and add the details for the student. So the details we want for the student are first name, last name. And to get that, we're going to need the user table. Oh, not on, we need to join. So join user 1. And now how is it related? It's user1.user ID is equal to registration .user ID. Okay, so now we added another table to join. And now it says, ooh, I don't know what you mean by department. And this is because now we have a department in, we had it before, right? On the section has a department. Now we have, the course had a department. Now we also have a department in the user 1 table, and that's related to the instructor and the department they're associated with. So these two departments are very different. So we want to be very specific about which one we want. And we want the one that is associated with the course, not the one that is in the user 1 table. And there we get it. Now we have a list of all of the students. But instead of ordering by section number, let's put it in order by the student. So let's order by last name, and then within that by department. And there, we got a list of all of John Hansen's grades in each of the sections that he was in, then Tracy Jones and the sections for them, Jim Reed, and so forth. And we get a list of all the students and their grades. For our last join, let's create a list of instructors that still have grades to be turned in. So on this list, let's include the instructor's first name and last name, the department that the course is in, and so I've added course.department, the course number, the semester and year, and the grade. And we want to give this information. Where are we going to get it from? We're going to get it from the course table. That's where we're going to get some of it from. We're going to join that with the section table. That's where some of the information is going to come from. We need to know how to connect them. So we know that course.course ID is equal to section.course. So those are how those two are related. But we need even more than that. So we need some information from registration. So we'll join registration. That is on section number is equal to registration dot section number. And that's how those are related. Now, there's one more thing we want, and that is the user information. So we need to join again another table, but this one will be user 1. And how is it related? It's on user 1 dot user ID is equal to section dot instructor. Okay, and let's go ahead and run this and see what we get. And there we get a list of all the instructors, all the sections, and all the grades. And what we specifically wanted was just the ones that have not been graded yet. So those are the ones with the values null. So we're going to put a where clause on here, and we're going to put it where grade is null. Remember how we do how we want to compare for null? We say where grade is null. So we execute that. Now we have the list of instructors and course numbers and grades. Notice that there's multiple grades in a single section. If we had large sections, we would have one for each of those grades. But to get rid of that, let's go ahead and use the select distinct and see what happens when we execute it now. And there we have a nice clean list of an instructor, the actual course that hasn't been graded. So we can write that up and we know exactly who has grades yet to submit. There are many questions that we can answer when we're able to join multiple tables together.